It's Sunday night, and you have a major project due Friday. You tell yourself, 5 whole days, plenty of time. Fast forward to Thursday at 11 p.m., and you're in full panic mode, only halfway done, and wondering how you got here. Or maybe you would need just 30 minutes to get ready for that party. But an hour later, you are still not out the door. If that sounds familiar, you are running straight into the planning fallacy. And it might be the number one reason you are stressed, rushing, and apologizing for being late. The planning fallacy is your brain's tendency to underestimate how long tasks will take, even when your own past proves you are terrible at estimating time. It is why a 10-minute assignment becomes a 2-hour ordeal. A quick shower makes you 20 minutes late, and that DIY project you thought would take a weekend is still unfinished 3 months later. Psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky first identified this bias in 1979, long before TikTok and Instagram. And if our estimates were optimistic, then imagine how much worse they are in today's distraction-filled world. Why does your brain do this to you? First, it is optimistic by default because believing you can finish fast feels good. You convince yourself you can binge an entire series and still get 8 hours of sleep. Second, when you plan, your brain pictures the ideal scenario and ignores the messy reality, interruptions, distractions, charging your laptop, finding your notes, or dealing with roommate drama. Third, it conveniently forgets how long similar tasks took before. That essay you thought would take 1 night but took 3 is memory hold. Evolutionarily, this optimism used to motivate challenging efforts that helped us survive. Now it just leads to all-nighters and yet another, sorry, running late, text. The planning fallacy haunts every area of your life. In school, you start assignments the night before, thinking, I can knock this out in an hour, only to hit 2 a.m. nowhere near done. On social media, you promise 5 more minutes and look up 2 hours later. With friends, you try to be on time and still show up late. At your part-time job, you agree to extra tasks without realizing you have already overcommitted. Even major companies and governments fall for it, so you are not alone. But you can be among the few who actually fix it. Letting it run your life has real costs. In the short term, you get last-minute panic, all-nighters, and rushed work that does not reflect your true abilities. Your relationships take a hit because being consistently late signals that you do not value other people's time, even when that is not your intention. Over time, the chronic rushing and stress can affect your mental health. Studies show that people who regularly underestimate time commitments report higher anxiety and lower life satisfaction. In the long run, your reputation suffers. Teachers, friends, and employers start seeing you as unreliable, even though you are not trying to be. Most importantly, constant rushing will rob you of the chance to do your best work because you never get to see what you can create with adequate time. What is your worst planning fallacy moment? Or what is the one task you always underestimate? Sharing it in the comments is the first step to noticing your patterns and breaking them. The good news is you can outsmart this bias with 3 simple strategies. First, use the past self technique. Before estimating how long something will take, remember how long a similar task took, then add 50%. If your last essay took 6 hours, budget 9 for this one, and your future self will thank you. Second, break down the task and estimate each step separately. Instead of saying, I will finish this project by Friday, list the steps and time blocks, research for 2 hours, outlining for 1 hour, writing for 4 hours, editing for 2 hours, formatting for 1 hour. This forces your brain to confront the true scope. Third, set reality checkpoints. If you think a task will take 3 hours, set alarms at the 1 hour and 2 hour marks to check progress. You get early warnings when you are slipping, instead of a last-minute panic. The goal is not perfection, because you will not become a time estimation genius overnight. But every time you catch yourself underestimating, You train your brain to be more realistic. If this helped you understand why you are always racing the clock, hit subscribe for more on how your brain works against you and how to fix it. Next time you hear yourself say, "I can definitely finish this tonight," pause and ask whether the planning fallacy is setting you up for another scramble. The most productive people are not always the fastest. They are the ones who are honest about how long things actually take. What could you create if you finally planned for reality instead of fantasy?